Please begin lying on your belly, the bolster out of the way, and turn your head to the left and to the right, testing which side is more restricted or challenging or has more sensation. Once you find that, turn your head to that side, resting your opposite cheek on the floor. Chin and nose slightly lifting away from your shoulder, arms and hands by your side, palms face up. Tops of your feet on the floor, and if possible, if it's comfortable, have your toes gently pointing towards each other, heels moving away from each other. If you have significant neck restriction or injury or way too much sensation, then feel free to support the head turn with a rolled up blanket. For a few moments, just close your eyes. Let the body breathe and rest very heavily, very passively against the ground under gravity. And allow the initial shifts to take place very naturally. And follow the shifts into practice brought about by this very simple posture in body, in breath, in mind, in emotions, in nervous system, in spirit. Slowly turn your head through center, pausing if you need to, and then slowly to the second side. This sequence is going to be a maintenance sequence for head, neck, shoulders, arms, wrists, hands, fingers. And as long as you are engaging the practice regularly, at least 2, ideally 3 yoga sequences per week, then I would strongly suggest and invite you to do this one once a week or every other week or at the very least, once a month. Either watching the video or memorizing the sequence, doing it on your own. And in that regard, there are many different ways to approach the practice. Many different ways to approach the same sequence. So I actually want to give in the recording on the video a little more quiet, fewer instructions, so that you can choose which approach is most appropriate for you right now. Could be silence. You could have some soft music on. You could even be doing this casually, watching TV or in the park. Slowly make your way onto your back. If you need to bring your head back to center first, feel free. Bolster under your head. Knees bent, feet on the floor. Arms and hands by your side to start. Feel the effects in the head, neck, shoulders of what you just did. And then lean slightly to the left. Bring your right hand palm face down behind your back. Spread your fingers either neutrally or very wide, but just don't crumple them up. And then lay back down flat on your hand. Your fingers could either be pointing straight to the left, up toward your left shoulder. Your hand could be more to the midline, more to the left side of your back, more to the right side of your back. Find an appropriate angle. If it's all good in your low back, extend your legs straight forward, relaxing on the floor. And again, let everything be very passive, restful, restorative. Close your eyes. Take it easy. And if you're not doing this casually, watching TV, if you are alone or in a quiet, intentional practice space, then choose or allow yourself to be guided into a particular mode of consciousness, an interior muscle, or something in the Kaliana container that you would like to practice, cultivate, activate, access, engage. So it could be a meditative technique. It could be a contemplation of a koan, or the ultimate reality. It could be feeling sensation. It could be observing what's arising in your awareness. It could be simply practicing doing nothing. And allowing yourself to be guided taken on a journey into the depths of this work, in particular this sequence. So choose that or allow it to be chosen for you now. Stay with it and return to it often as we go along. At your own pace, release your right arm. Have a few moments between sides. If you'd like to bend your knees again, and then switch sides to the left arm. As always, let the sides be their own thing. They are different, so start fresh. Don't try to repeat, but use the first side as a reference. Find the most appropriate angle for your left shoulder, elbow, wrist, fingers. Extend your legs forward again, if it's all good in your low back. Continue primarily allowing the sequence to be working deeply in all of the kosha layers, physically, energetically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. In particular, noticing the tone the texture, the way in which this sequence is particularly restorative and important for regular maintenance. Return again to your particular approach. Keep it simple. Keep it just one thing. No need to jump around. You can choose a different one next time. And let this in and of itself be not only a strengthening of whatever interior muscle, mode, compartment of consciousness you're wanting to cultivate, but also a strengthening of your own intuitive guidance, listening to the deep wisdom and higher intelligence inherent in this practice and in your own very being. And the difference between that and the ego mind choosing for you. Good. Release your left arm. At your pace, take your time, make your way up to seated on the bolster. Option to either, and you can check out Christy and Garrett here, either sit on the bolster with your legs spread wide or sit on the bolster with Sukhasana. If you're in Sukhasana, pull your feet towards you, like all the way in. You're kind of messing up Sukhasana. It's no longer Sukhasana anymore. Good. Now, right hand up in front of you, palm away, fingers spread. Turn your hand to the pinky side, clockwise, and then place your hand down in front of you. Technically speaking, the middle finger is pointing straight back, and if possible, have that middle finger somewhere between your navel and your right shoulder. So it's not just in line with your right shoulder, and it's not all the way over to the midline. So your middle finger pointing straight back, between navel and right shoulder. You decide the combination between leaning forward in order to get your whole hand down or sitting up straighter, even if that means the wrist and the heel of your hand are lifting a bit. But as much as possible, fingers spreading, fingers down, knuckles down, palm down. And then, of course, lean back, sit up in order to increase and manage sensation and intensity. Feel free also, as you're using this for maintenance, once a week, or every other week, or once a month, to play with the length of time of the sequence altogether. This, of course, is going to be about an hour, but you could double it. You could make it 2 hours. You could make it an hour and a half. You could even make it 30 minutes, but I would suggest no shorter than 30 minutes. And avoid doing these quote-unquote stretches randomly throughout the week just because they feel good, to make a discomfort or a pain go away. Keep it consolidated in this sequence set aside for maintenance. Good. To release, slowly bring the back of your right hand to rest on your right thigh. Don't wiggle it, don't stretch it, don't test it, just feel. And as you're ready, if you're in Sukhasana, you don't have to switch legs. We're just getting the legs out of the way here. When you're ready, go to your left hand. Again, use the first side as a reference, but don't try to repeat anything. Remember details. At the same time, let it be its own side. And depending on your approach that you're taking, be as specific or broad in general with details and nuances and alignment. As one suggestion that I've already implied, one approach to this could be very casual. Just kind of sitting around in your free time, not doing anything in particular. Spiritual practice, meditation, yoga is often approached very seriously, and of course it is, but within the seriousness can be a playfulness, an openness, a spontaneity within the flow. That helps to reset the daunting austerity, to breathe new life into it, to make it your own, in other words. It's also very important as an interior muscle in our culture, in our world these days, to know how to do nothing. Often, even when we go on vacation or when we relax, it's still just one more thing to do. But can you just be doing nothing? Can you really effortlessly relax? Good. In the same way, release your left hand. Before we go to the next posture, If you're in Sukhasana-ish and would like to switch the cross of your legs, feel free. Or if you're in Sukhasana and want to spread your legs, feel free. Or if your legs are spreading, you want to go to Sukhasana, feel free as well. But again, if you're in Sukhasana, you're kind of messing it up by pulling your feet closer in to the bolster, just for the purpose of getting your legs and feet out of the way for the handwork on the floor. Now, right hand up in front of you again. This time, turn it to the thumb side, counterclockwise, toward the midline. And then put your hand down on the floor in front of you. If possible, bend your elbow, lean forward to get your middle finger pointing straight back. But this one, of course, is more challenging to get the middle finger back than the previous. If possible, that middle finger or your hand in general pointing to your navel this time. And then, based on sensation, intensity, approach, range of movement, etc., straighten your elbow, lean back, and if necessary, you can bring your left hand on top of your right hand to kind of hold it securely in place. If you're not taking the casual watching TV, doing nothing approach here, then return once again to what you set out to explore, cultivate, experience at the beginning. Which technique or tool in the Kaliana container are you working with, engaging? A koan, contemplating the ultimate reality, a meditation focus, feeling and or observing sensation or the mind field or whatever's arising in awareness. Return to that. Deepen your relationship with it. And stay focused, attentive as an anchor for practice. Good. On your own, release and switch. Pause between sides as you like. Remembering, because sometimes some disorientation between left and right hemispheres, some kind of dyslexia sets in. So as you do the left hand, remember, turn to the thumb side, toward the midline. And start fresh. Noticing restriction, sensation, specifics, nuances, broad general alignment, and how the intelligence of this entire sequence is working with you and for you and on you through every kosha layer. That's what makes yoga yoga. And that's what Kaliana yoga seeks to bring back to life. The interior component of the exterior practice. So that it's not just stretching, fitness, physical therapy. Even if it's the casual, relaxed, in the park or watching TV approach, there's a reason you've chosen that. It may be your Pratipaksha Bhavana for the day, cultivating the opposite of what you would prefer to be doing in order to change a pattern, or giving yourself what you need for support, rest, rejuvenation. This too is what Kaliana Yoga seeks. To bring back the true essence of owning your own yoga practice, but with proper training and guidance and learning the skill of the ancient art. Not just being strung along, told what to do. But at the same time, not just doing whatever you want to do without the discernment of which voice is speaking. Good. Slowly release. Feel free also, in between sides or in between postures here in this sequence, to take walks if you like. Take a little break. And then resume. For the next one, a couple of different options again. Garrett, I want you to do this version. And then you put your hand on the floor in front of you, but you can sit on the floor if you want instead of bolster. So Garrett and Christy again are going to demo the different approaches, and you can, if you're going to do Christy's version, once again, Sukhasana or leg spread, bolster or floor. And then Garrett is going to come to his hands and knees, off the bolster. We're targeting fingers here. So Christy's going to put her hand palm down on the floor, just regular fashion, fingers spread. Garrett is bringing just his fingers to the floor, all the way to the base knuckle, but the palm is lifting. The right elbow is bending out to the right, and he's going to move the elbow like a rudder on a ship to each finger. So you're kind of leaning over, the elbow's going to the pinky finger, the ring finger, middle finger, pointer finger. And then Christy is going to lift each one of her fingers with her left hand. So lift your pointer finger. And then, again, keeping the base knuckle on the ground, move your pointer finger to the left. Take it through its full range of motion. And through center and to the right, without moving or lifting the other fingers or knuckles or your palm. Back and forth a couple of times. And then again, Garrett's elbow is going to move to the next finger, and then Christy's going to put pointer finger down, lift the middle finger. Go to the left, through center to the right. And continue with all the fingers. Option, if you're doing Christy's version, to also lift the thumb up. But the thumb's range of motion is a little different than the other fingers. So you kind of lift the thumb up, pull it back, up and around and back down. Whichever variation you're doing, after you've completed the right hand, then switch to the left. And remember, targeting the fingers here. So if you're doing Christy's version, then the palm is all the way down. You're lifting just the fingers with your other hand. If you're doing Garrett's version, the fingers are all the way down. The palm is lifting. And you're targeting the fingers by moving your elbow in that direction. Suggestion for another approach as well is to have kind of a childlike attitude, exploring the physical form, its beauty, its weirdness, its strangeness, its perfection, its mechanics. Not doing it for any particular reason, not even therapeutic, not even spiritual. Just as you might as a child. Just playing. Just being with yourself. Just discovering new things. And as you finish the second side, have a seat again. Feel free to sit however you like this time. The hand is not going to be on the floor, so you don't necessarily need to get your legs out of the way. So bolster or floor, casual seat, virasana, kneeling, sitting in a chair, on the couch. Doesn't have to be a yoga pose. Bring your right hand in front of you, right hand in front of you, thumb up toward the ceiling like you're making a thumbs up, and then thumb down inside your palm and grab your thumb with your other four fingers. So it's like thumbs up, but the thumb is down. You're grabbing your thumb in your palm in a fist. Good. Now, angle your right arm so that it's a little lower than shoulder height. So not parallel with the floor, but a little down. And then bend your wrist down. So like bending your wrist to the pinky side, down toward the floor, to feel an opening in your base thumb knuckle. If that's enough sensation, then continue like that. If you need a little extra assistance, then again, you can bring your left hand to help out. By bringing your left fingers to the base knuckle of your right thumb. And assisting your right wrist to bend in that direction. Good, release and switch. Left thumb. Good, release. And now basically the same thing with all of the other fingers, starting with your right pinky. And I want to show you a close-up in the camera with my hand. basically curl your right pinky finger in so that the tip of your right pinky finger is in your palm as much as possible. And then press the bottom of your right pinky, just like you're pressing and opening the right thumb, and curl your wrist to find a sensation on the top of your right hand and the base of your right pinky knuckle. Find a combination. As you can see, Chrissy's extending her elbow, Garrett's elbow's a little more bent. Extending the elbow, the sensation may go more into the forearm. Bending the elbow, there may be more access on the top of your hand. So you decide the approach. Think of like doing a self-defense or kung fu move to yourself, where the master just turns the wrist and brings the victim to his or her knees. You're doing that to yourself here. And continue at the pace appropriate for you with each finger. Ring, middle pointer on your right hand, and then pinky ring, middle pointer on your left hand. After you've finished all your fingers, stand up, take a little walk, take a little break if you like. And then eventually, eventually come back to the wall standing with your right hand on the wall, fingers spreading, bolster out of the way, arm and hand shoulder height, elbow extending, and stand far enough away from the wall that your arm just fits perfectly between your torso and the wall. So you're not leaning into the wall, you're not bending your elbow. Perfect distance, arm length, from wrist to shoulder away from the wall. Good. Now, without losing contact of your hand on the wall, gently lean away from the wall. It's like you wanted to lean and bring your hand off the wall, but you're going to keep your hand on the wall. And feel space being made in your right shoulder, in your elbow. Feel fascia, tendons, muscle fibers being lengthened. Sometimes this kind of shoulder work can drop the blood pressure. Don't let that alarm you, but if you get lightheaded, short of breath, then just release. If you get very dizzy, then just lay straight down on the floor. But don't let my warning cause anxiety itself to come up. Good. Now, keeping your right hand on the wall as it is, open your torso to the left and kind of walk your feet around so that they now point away from the wall. Opening in your right shoulder, in your right pec, and continue making that space by gently leaning away from the wall without losing contact. As you're ready, release and switch. Starting position with your left hand on the wall. And in a moment, I'll cue you to open it up again. Good, open it up. Release. If you'd like to take a few steps, a little walk, feel free. And then eventually for Shavasana, lie on your back, head on the bolster. If your shoulders have had plenty, then arms and hands by your side. Otherwise, if you like, fingers interlaced under head or under bolster. If your arms are by your side, then don't turn your head. If your fingers are interlaced, then decide. If you like, turn your head to the right. That's not necessary either. Close your eyes. And receive the beautiful results of your work. If you're turning your head back to center, if your fingers are interlaced, switch the interlace. Turn your head to the left. Head back to center. Release your arms. Deep breath, deep stretch. And make your way up to seated, hands at heart center. Namaste.